Hello and welcome back, or welcome to another video on my channel. Today is going to be the review on China. Now for this we are talking about the Nationalist China. Yes, that is what the review is going to be on. If you do like this, please like, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on when you do subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And now with that out of the way, I reckon it's about time to get into the video. So we'll click single player here. We will not be continuing this game because that's a private game that I was playing as Japan, and obviously we won't be doing that one. Also played a little bit of multiplayer yesterday with my friend because HOI4 is currently doing a free-to-play weekend where you can go and trial the game out for free and see whether you like it if you may have not otherwise bought it. And also they have a sale going on until December 4th, so I do suggest going have a look at the game. The game is currently down from £35 down to 12. If you obviously live in the UK, that's the currency system you would use. But yeah, it's down quite a bit at the minute due to a sale, so I do suggest if you want the game, go and get it because it's currently cheaper than it would normally be. Now, obviously, here we are going to play one nation and one nation only, and that is China, with Chiang Kai-shek as the leader. I'd love to do a Philippines game soon, so one of the next games is going to be on Philippines. We're also going to have a Chinese Soviet Republic game, a Manchukuo, a Guangdong click, a Sichuan click, a Northeastern Army game, a Quanghai Ma game, a Khotan Ma game, and finally a Xinjiang game. So these are a bunch of games that are going to come up soon on the channel, but obviously for today it is time to head to China. Sorry about that. I just have a thing where in the morning I wake up and feel ill and then I get better again. It's a weird thing. Yeah, who knows. Let's begin here, I reckon. So we're obviously going to play as the lovely nation of China here. This is a one-off episode, just so everyone's aware. If any series is to be done on any of these nations, they will be done in the future, and also there's not going to be much gameplay per se in that sort of aspect, as we'll be more looking at what the focuses look like, decisions, how to do things, and stuff like that. Obviously, it would help if I'd played China before filming, so I could get a bit of an aspect of how it works, but I haven't, so this is just me coming in at the same time as you guys, and just sort of seeing some new features. Obviously, we can see here that China has kept the province of Qingdao, but has obviously lost some territory to nations like the Shandong clique and Hebei Chahar as well here. Obviously not ideal, but is what it is, and we have to work around it. Also most certainly lost some territory to the Sichuan clique over here. I mean, it's definitely we lost territory also to Tibet, possibly even the Northeastern Army has taken some of our territory, so definitely got some stuff to get back. I think we might do a little bit of gameplay in this episode, otherwise it'll be quite stale and boring, so definitely plan for that. There was also someone on a phone call outside my window, which is not ideal because you can hear a lot of a phone call potentially, so I do apologise for that in advance. These things just sort of happen. It's also raining, which doesn't help much with audio things. I have no idea what this faction tree is. I haven't properly looked at it yet. There is a lot in here. Like, I mean a lot. Like, an unusual level amount of a lot. To the point where I don't even know where to go. Kuomintang, blue shirts, and the league. I mean, I don't even know where to go on this one. Like, it helps when you go through. I think I will definitely probably have a lack of gameplay in this episode, because I'll probably do a game off camera at some point and sort of understand it a bit more. And then once I understand the game, we'll come back and do a series on China and transform something or other in a different manner than what we were before, necessarily. But that's sort of the focus tree that we're just going to show here on camera. It's a really large focus tree now, like really large. So that is the focus tree there. And then obviously they got the faction mechanic, which obviously we're not in a faction at the minute, so we can't exactly see that too well. But effectively it's a good mechanic when you know how to use it, which I think everything is good when you know how to use it or operate it or whatever the situation is. But obviously, because I'm still not fully sure on how to use some things, it still might be a bit experimental and unclear on how things work at the minute. But we've obviously got occupied territories, which I'm presuming is going to be the Chinese Soviet Republic. Of course it is. And we're in one bit of territory of the Shandong clique, which I'm almost certain is going to be a bit of territory. I think it is. Yeah, Qingdao, obviously. So that's fun. But I think the general idea with China is you're supposed to take over places like the Shandong clique, this other nation, and some other places like that, in order to gain some more land. Let's have another look at the focus here, focus tree here, as we might be able to just brute force our way down some focus tree things. I'm going to use the territorial expansion part of this to see what is the best way of doing this. Secure the northern front. Okay, we might want to go down that then, potentially. I mean, it really does depend in a sort of way of what way do you go, realistically. Because obviously I'm new to, as I was saying, before I was interrupted by apparently everything. I'm new to this focus tree, so I have no clue where things are going, no clue, how things are laid out or whatever. So I'm very much, trying to build it up from the start effectively. I'm going to take the path of going down here from strengthen the blue shirts. No, strengthening our resolve. Is what we're going to do here. Now, the main reason we're going to do that is because it's simple and it's just a small path that we can do now. So we'll turn on this here so that we don't have to wait around all day, and we'll just basically brute force our way through the path here in order to just get down to sort of going to war with a couple of people, just for the sake of fun. Obviously don't expect this to be, a massive video on actually doing things as China. This is just more me trying to kill some time and do some things with some console commands on here. Also, if you guys want to see me and my friend playing multiplayer, let me know in the description, and not in the description, in the comments down below. Also, I am sort of slowly getting him closer and closer to making his own YouTube channel, and when he does do that, there definitely will be collaborations between the two of us, because he definitely is raised that he wants to do a sort of history channel at some point, and obviously because I've got hearts fan for history knowledge, I would like to help him on that one, just to help him sort of build that channel up to where he wants it, and help him out when necessary with that as well. Now we're just going to go down here and basically take all that we need to do here. So I'll just effectively take a lot of territory here. It's going to be a lot of territory that we're about to have to go and take. This is going to be a lot. Wow, okay. That's going to be a lot. Right, okay, we are going to basically form a massive empire. That's interesting. This is going to be interesting in a minute. So we're now the Chinese People's State over here. And now we have to just go to war with a bunch of people because we have the ability to do so. So let's see where we want to go first. I think the first option is probably going to be the smartest option of going in on the Shandong clique. Because if we can take them out, we can then unify Qingdao back into our territory. And that will allow us to basically strike nations one by one, allowing us to have a better time here overall. So I think the first choice option here is mobilize the army towards the Shandong clique, and hopefully take them out as quick as we possibly can in order to try and advance onto the next batch of nations here as well. So we need to assign 2 more divisions here to them, and then we can move on to forming the second army here, which will split that in half, and then just bring it back down to there, and then we can assign them, and that will do us for the first couple of invasions, and then we'll assign some more armies as well in a minute. We'll assign Alexander von Fulkhausen. While we still got him, we'll use him here. Obviously he's a German general, so when the Germans decide that they don't want to ally with us anymore, which does happen at some point, they will obviously turn back to Germany and align with the Germans, which is going to happen, but we can try and at least utilise him a bit before that stage, which would be quite good to do so as quick as we can. Obviously we're going to move all our troops onto the border here. We're also going to leave 2 divisions in Qingdao to try and hold it, not expecting them to do much of anything spectacular. I think we should start the offensive as quick as we can, to be fair. Like, I'm not going to lie, their divisions do not look like they've got any sort of supply. I think if we would strike now, I think we would win. The best option we've got, I think, is to strike, and to strike quickly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to strike, and we're going to do it quick. So we'll move in here. I'm just going to do a little console command. In research all, and then give me all the latest equipment, which you can probably hear the typing there, because my phone is so close to the keyboard when it's recording the audio that it probably come through quite well. So yeah, sorry if you didn't want to hear a bunch of clicking of keys on the keyboard. Do apologise, but let's advance in here as quickly as we can and take as much as we can as quick as we can. I say with these 2 divisions we should probably take this division and see if he can split the entire nation across here for the Shandong clique, and see if we can advance in rapid succession here and see what we can gain out of it, which I'm sure we can gain a lot, to be fair. There you go, we've connected the 2 fronts, and we can now advance as one combined unit and continue the advance across the front line as quickly as possible. which will be good here, because we should be able to split them in half in a minute. And once we do split them in half, that will be the end of their war campaign. And there we go, that is it there. They are now split in half, and now it's just time to finish the campaign. Take 2, because the front line didn't draw. I don't know why this always happens to me, but there you go. We'll just draw it now and continue the advance up towards both parts of the Shandong clique here, and start to fully finish them out here as well. Obviously we have a lot of nations to go to war with, so we need to move as quickly as possible here in order to get as much done as we physically can in about the next 15 minutes. Obviously no promises it will all be done in the next 15 minutes, but we will come back and properly do a gameplay series at some point on China, so keep an eye out for that one. This is more just a let's have a look at how things work as China, and see what things work as, because this is sort of like a little review, is this good, is this bad, how does it work type of a game, instead of an actual we've got a name, we're going to try and do this type of a game. So that's the Shandong clique, I think. Out here we can take their territory now, and we will do just that. So we'll take the 2 of them and integrate them into our state, and the main reason we want to take them out quick as possible was to take Qingdao and bring it back under our control ASAP, obviously because we need to connect our mainland with Qingdao for supply routes and other things along those lines. Next enemy is going to be the one that controls Beijing, simply so that we can get Beijing and be ready for any sort of Japanese advance when they do try to do something along those lines, because believe me, they will try and they will hopefully fail to do an invasion into our nation, but we need to be even more prepared for such an eventuality if it does occur. So we will make pace here to push forward and take them out in order to be in a better position to start an offensive against Japan if necessary. Right, so we'll continue to advance forward here, and hope that it all goes well, which it might, or it might not, we will see. Right, so we're just going to continue pushing forward here, and we're getting closer and closer to Beijing here, which is good, because that is obviously the main goal of where we want to get to in this campaign, which would be good to achieve that goal as quick as we can here, so that we can move on to someone like Shaanxi and the Chinese Soviet Republic, which yes are going to be the next 2 goals or enemies that we will go against here in a moment, as soon as we take Beijing and we capitulate the enemy here, which we're now moving up a bit quicker towards Beijing, which is good, and we're about to take the state, which also is very good, and will mean we effectively win the war in a moment here anyway. And I'm surprised they haven't surrendered already, seeing as we are very much clearly going to win, and there's not much hope that they have to reverse the course of this war at this point, but we shall see if they still feel like they can, and no, they cannot. So now that they have surrendered, we're clearly going to take out some states here, and we'll start to build up our empire a little bit more, as you can see here, sort of makes the front line look a little bit better, and some of the odd parts of their empire have been taken and incorporated as well, so the border looks a little bit nicer now. But now we have got to go to war with Shaanxi in order to basically cement ourselves as a major power in this conflict, because obviously if we let Shaanxi exist, they still have a viable option to, you know, try and form their own in China, I believe, and we obviously do not want such an eventuality, so we're going to try and move as quickly as possible here to take them out and to try and form our own version of China even quicker with more territory here, because that is obviously important for us to do in order to achieve our end goal. So we're going to immediately start with some offensives across the territory in order to basically break through their front line and hopefully give ourselves the front hand onto this conflict and somewhat achieve what we want to do. I think in terms of doing some of the smaller new nations that are on the starting page, I think what we'll do is we'll hold off on them until we do like a series video on them later. I think for the review videos, I think we will do Chinese Soviet Republic, because that just has to be done. It's another big player in the sort of Chinese region. And then we'll do the Philippines, and then after that we will call that there for the review videos, and then we'll move on to doing more either series or one-off standalone videos of different nations, and we'll do a little video on the Navy at some point with Britain, so look out for that as well. But yeah, some videos coming forward. We'll do a few more review videos on different nations, and then we'll go to focusing on nations and doing a little bit of a series or bit of a video on them as we form stuff with them. But yeah, that's the idea. And yeah, we still got some more minutes left in this video, so let's continue across Shaanxi, and maybe we might also declare war on the Chinese Soviet Republic here as well, just in order to take two birds out with one stone. We'll take them out as well here as well. I don't know how many times I can say as well in one video, but I guess I'm trying to say it as many times as I can. The answer is I'm not, but anyway. Right, back across, let's go. Oh dear, some of our generals have switched sides. That's not good. Turns out they like the Chinese Soviets more than they did us, which is not good. But luckily we're going to take the Soviet Republic out, and maybe we might get the generals back once they realise we're the correct side to fight with, which would be nice for them to realise. Obviously Shaanxi should probably move its capital here, if they don't want their capital to be in occupied territory, which it very much currently is, and they're not about to get that territory back, as they're not about to have much territory to use to get the territory back, as we are advancing at a quite quick rate across the front line here, which is obviously quite good. And as you can see, we are on the border of the Chinese right now. By the Chinese, I mean the Chinese Soviet Republic, and we're starting to advance into the state of the Chinese Soviet Republic, and we're also advancing into Shaanxi right now, which is also very good. So, you know, we're making solid progress here, which is obviously good to see, that we are very much restoring ourselves to a state of an empire which we once were, and it would be good to see us return to being again. We'll obviously continue to advance down and towards both the communists and Shaanxi here in order to try and take both of them as quickly and as effectively as possible, in order to incorporate them into our state, and build them as part of the empire. Or at least that's the idea anyway. At some point soon we should take them, I'm presuming. Which would be nice. There you go, that's a bit of the Chinese taken. And then we'll push up to the top here, and there you go, Shaanxi is now surrendered. So we'll integrate them into our empire as quickly as possible. There we go. That's now into the empire, and incorporated here. Which means now we need to just focus on the Chinese Soviet Republic. And once we get them out of the way, that will be us entirely in the victory, which would be good for us to see here. So keep pushing forward here until we take the Chinese Soviets, and then that'll be the end of this video, except for a little review of the game as well. But we will continue to push into the Chinese Soviets here. The next video, which will be tomorrow's video, will be on, I want to say, the Philippines, but it will probably be the Chinese Soviet Republic. So keep an eye out for that one. I will be recording it today, later today, but yeah, I'll be recording it. So keep an eye out for that one. And yeah, we will do a sort of similar thing that we did today, but we'll start it a little bit earlier in the video, where we'll just talk about, you know, some of the new features, and we'll advance with a little campaign as well. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, we've still got a bit to go in this video because we haven't yet taken out all the Chinese yet, but we're getting closer and closer to doing so, which is good. But yeah, just one last push here into their sort of capital, which I reckon we should just do a bit of something like this, where we just let everyone attack in and hopefully take it as quick as possible. Or at least that's the idea anyway. It might work, it might not, who knows? The answer is I don't. So that's fun. But we should be in here soon, so that's good. Also, anyone who does comment, if you guys want a shout out, just let me know in the comments down below, and I might give you a shout out in the next video. Yeah, I do obviously try and respond to your comments. I will say, you know, I'm not going to say I understand everyone's comment, because I certainly don't, but when I do try to understand comments, I mean, some comments I might not understand, or I might not see, so there might not be a response necessarily instantly, or, you know, they might not get a response for a bit. Obviously, I saw a comment in the last video, and I have responded to that. But yeah, if you want a shout out, put it in the comments down below that you'd like a shout out in the next video. And anyone who gets here before tomorrow's video, well, I say before tomorrow's video, you're not really going to get here before tomorrow's video because it's being recorded today, before 5 o'clock, so you're not really going to get here for that. But anyone who wants a shout out for Monday's video, you can either comment on today's video or tomorrow's video, and if I see your comment before I film Monday's video, then I'll give you a shout out on Monday. And that just has to be on the Saturday, Sunday videos, where any shout outs for those 2 days will have to be on Monday, and beyond that, it will sort of just sort itself out for the weekdays. Now, obviously, we have capitulated the Chinese Soviet Republic here, so we'll integrate them into the empire here, which means they are now part of our state, which is really good for us. And with that being said, that is it for this video, and while we head over to the screen recorder here, I wanted to give a review of the game and the update for China. And I want to say obviously I gave Japan a 9.5 out of 10. I'm possibly leaning on doing the same for this one, so I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 because I really enjoy it. I think it's upgraded China a lot, and you can actually have more control over what you want to do with China now, and I think it's quite nice. Also, I was saying that I only have Philippines and Chinese Communist Soviet Republic, but now I also have Manchukuo that I need to do as well, so that's 3 more videos on this as well. So that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, before we start doing proper videos again, as we would have done previously. So if you guys do like this video, please like, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on when you subscribe. And I do recommend this new DLC very much. I think it's done wonders for the Pacific nations and has improved their focus trees immensely, and has made them a lot more fun to play. So I would encourage people to go and check that out on Steam or wherever they get HOI4 from. And with that being said, I hope to see you all in tomorrow's video, which should be recorded later, give or take, hopefully, which should be on the Chinese Soviet Republic. So I shall see you all there. Bye for now. Bye.